Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time clicking on one of my videos, my name is Janelle, and if you are a returning subscriber, what's up, what's happening? I'm happy to have you all here with me today. Peace and blessings to you. So before we get into the topic of today's video, I just want to wish you all a very happy new year. It's 2023. Oh my goodness, it's 2023. Hey, it's 2023. I cannot believe that we're already in a new year, and I'm just starting the year off with positive vibes and just claiming that this year for all of us is a prosperous one. May God give you your true heart's desires this year, and may he align you with the things that's destined for you to achieve in your path and walk of life. I really want all of you that's watching this channel to live a joyful life, live a life that brings you fulfillment. Hey, we're not getting any younger, you guys, so it's so important to really live a life that you truly desire and do the things that you're supposed to do to get you in alignment with the things that you deserve. So I'm just here to give you that reminder and just giving you the encouragement if you're lacking encouragement, giving you excitement if you're lacking excitement in your life, because you deserve to be excited about living a beautiful life that you have the opportunity to create for yourself if you have not already, or if you're in the midst of creating that life. I'm just encouraging you and egging you on to keep going, even if it gets challenging, even if you get a little bit confused or off track. Do not give up, because it's not too late and you can do all the things that you are thinking and dreaming of. It's possible. Don't give up. You can do it. I'm here rooting for you, okay? Feel free to drop some comments below of what you're hoping to accomplish for this year, whether it's anything related to travel or just personal growth or wellness, whatever. I'm curious to hear what goals you have set for yourself this year. I'm really looking forward to the continuous growth that I am affirming my channel will have this year in 2023. We've already come such a long way. I'm so grateful for the community that we have created together, and I'm just looking forward to meeting more people virtually around the world as 2023 progresses. So sending my love and gratitude for each one of you that has supported my channel. It does not go unnoticed. I'm still going to be replying to everyone's comments and interacting with you guys, because that's something that I really love to do. So thank you for allowing that opportunity for me to enjoy. So thank you so much. Let's get into the topic of today's video, shall we? Oh, but hold on y'all real quick. Y'all like my haircut? It's not looking as fresh as it was when I first got it done, but I think it's still giving. What y'all think? Okay, so I thought that it would be a really cool idea to come on camera and talk to you guys about my journey of being a flight attendant so far. And now that I've been in the game for, I think it's been maybe 8.5 months that I've been a flight attendant with a mainline carrier, I thought that it would be kind of helpful for those of you that are aspiring to be flight attendants to get some insight on some things that I would deem as highlights and things to consider going into this profession. I don't really want to say pros and cons, because I feel like it depends on who you are as a person, because some things that I may classify as a con may not be a really big deal for you. So I think it's just things to keep in consideration and some challenges that you may come across during your time of being a flight attendant. So that's what we're going to go over today. Granted, this is not a full exhaustive list. Okay, so let's get into it. First challenge I would say is being away from home for a long period of time. So you could be, at least with my company, assign a trip up to 6 days. Granted, sometimes they do try and finesse that a little bit, because they can give you a 24-hour layover somewhere and say that that's actually a day off for you. But of course, you probably want to dictate where you're spending your 24-hour day off time period at. But sometimes they will do that if it's like irregular operations or they really need you to work a pairing. They will do that, but I will say it's not that often that they do that, at least in my experience. So with that being said, you're gone from home a lot, and that can be a challenge if you're someone who is maybe commuting to work, or if you have a family at home or kiddos. That may be kind of hard to be gone for multiple days at a time throughout the month. For me, it doesn't really impact me that much, unless it's a time where I'm like, dang, I really am trying to get back home to attend a family gathering or a friend's outing, or if I just don't want to be gone. And I also want to say that I have never gotten assigned a trip that was more than 4 days, but I've seen people who have had trips maybe at a 5-day period of time, but that's literally because it was a unique situation and a pairing fell apart or they were short-staffed somewhere, and so they extended the trip to 5 days. But yeah, that's very rare that I've seen that, and I've never seen anyone get a trip assigned for 6 days. So they can do up to 6 days, but I don't think that's something that they normally try to do, at least from what I've seen. Now, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because I don't have all the answers. I'm just talking about my experiences and what I see out there, okay? So don't come for me in the comments if I say something that is not as accurate as you deem it to be, okay? Also, the job can get lonely sometimes. Even though we are in a profession where we're constantly interacting with customers, we're interacting with our fellow crewmates, we're just constantly always seeing people, but it's not like people that you actually know for real or people that you have built a relationship with. And so because you're meeting people, new people literally every day, it's kind of hard to build relationships in that kind of context. And then considering the fact that you're gone from home pretty often, it's kind of hard to maintain certain relationships that you probably are so used to fostering on a day-to-day basis prior to starting in this career. Not saying that your relationships will completely tarnish, but you just have to work extra hard to maintain your friendships and keeping in contact with people that you love, because you're not seeing them probably as often as you used to. But I can say a pro to that is that it really challenges you and pushes you to be in the moment when you are spending time with your loved ones, because you don't really know necessarily when you'll see them again, or when the next time you see them, you're not really sure for how long. So I think it definitely has motivated me to be more present in the moment and just have a lot of gratitude for the time that I do have with people that I care about. And piggybacking off of being lonely, of course, when you're having your layovers, a lot of times you will have crewmates staying there with you at the hotel. So you do have the option to socialize and hang out with people that you flew with that day. But like, not every trip you're gonna wanna hang out with your crew. Sometimes you just wanna be by yourself, or sometimes you just wanna hang out with your friends that you've made outside of work and you don't really want to talk or think about work. And sometimes hanging out with your coworkers naturally bring those thoughts, as you're sharing that one thing in common with your coworker. You work together, so they may want to talk about the day over drinks or food, and you're kind of like, oh, I don't really want to talk about working on a plane today once I get to my hotel. I'm sorry. So that does happen. So I can say loneliness is something that has affected me during my time as a flight attendant, but not to the point where it's like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. I think in those moments, I just try to implement some time to FaceTime my family more or check in with my friends more, and that does help. And then I really take advantage of the days that I have off to go home and spend with my family. So in the moment, it may suck, but it doesn't last forever. Another thing to take in consideration is that being a flight attendant is not as glamorous as people may deem it out to be. Granted, I love my job and I'm not quitting anytime soon, so I just want to have that as an early disclaimer in this video. The things that I'm saying are just things to keep in mind. But people have a misconception that we're always on international trips or glamorous layovers, or it's just, oh, we fly somewhere and it's a cakewalk. That's not always the case. Like, sometimes you will get a layover in a place that you have never heard of, a place that may not interest you, and you don't want to do anything but stay in your hotel room because nothing nearby the hotel just sparks your interest. We don't have complete control over our schedule, especially if you are a reserve flight attendant. Line holders, that's a different story. They have the ability to kind of have some choices that reserve flight attendants do not have. But reserve life as a flight attendant is a little bit more challenging. So with that being said, you will get sent to places that you probably don't want to be in. One place that you may not find exciting, someone else may love it. So it really depends on what you like as a person, because some layovers may not be in a really big city, but some people love being in small towns and love like small niche areas, and everyone has different things that they find enjoyment in. When people say that the layovers are boring, I'm like, well, it may be fun to somebody, it's just not my cup of tea, and it's not the end of the world, because next week or even my next trip, I may be somewhere where I am having the time of my life and I have so many amenities that I'm really interested in around the hotel. So it's not like the things that you are not liking or enjoying last forever. depending upon the person you are and how much you love the job. I will never forget, like, one of my earlier trips when I first started, I had got an assignment for a trip and it said I was going to Madison, Wisconsin. And I was just like so annoyed because I had preference, like I think 2 or 3 trips where I was going to somewhere warm and somewhere that I really wanted to go. And so when they assigned me that trip, I was like, what the heck? I went to work with kind of a negative attitude about the layover, to be completely honest, which is not okay, but I'm being transparent with you guys. I was like, man, what the heck am I gonna do there? I'm gonna be bored. I'm there for like 30 hours or something like that. And when I got to the airport and I met my crew that I was flying with that day, they were all talking about how excited they were to go to the hotel and how it was so beautiful and that the amenities there were really nice. And they were saying that it's one of their favorite trips to go on. And I was like, okay, that's shocking. And y'all, once I got to that hotel, it was beautiful. It was right by a lake. I was able to walk literally less than 5 minutes down the street to go to a farmer's market that they have. And I love farmer's markets. They have the biggest producers only farmer's market within the US. And I was completely amazed. And still to this day, it's one of my favorite layovers. So all to say is, don't count things out until you try it. Be optimistic and open-minded, and I will say that that's one of the things that I really cherish and appreciate about this job, because it really has opened my eyes to a lot of things that I wouldn't have even thought to look at. So I'm very appreciative of that. So although some of those things can be a challenge, it also can be a blessing too in disguise. So I kind of already touched on reserve life a little bit, but I do want to elaborate a little bit more on what challenges you may face while being on reserve. So we know that being on reserve, you're on standby, you're on ready reserve at home. You a lot of times get assigned trips that you have no idea where you're going until the day of or 3 hours before. So it definitely puts you in a position to be flexible and spontaneous. Now, depending on your personality, that may work completely fine for you. And I would say I have a spontaneous personality, but I would be lying if I said that that component does not get a little challenging sometimes. I would say the moments where it's challenging for me is when I would like to plan something and thinking I'm gonna get back home at a certain time and things don't really go that way. So sometimes you do kind of want some consistency, and you probably will not get it with this job when it comes to your schedule on reserve. So that is a challenge, but it's something that you're just gonna have to accept. And once you accept it, it gets easier to deal with. But I can say that there's times where it is challenging to deal with our schedules when there are delays and cancellations, especially when you think you're gonna be home at a certain time to attend maybe an event like a birthday or a wedding, or you just want to hang out with your girlfriends and you think that you're going to be able to go home, especially if you're not living in base. So there's times where I'm thinking like, okay, once I'm done with my trip, I'm gonna get back to Houston and I'm gonna make this flight that's leaving at a certain time. But if your flight's delayed and you don't leave until 3 hours later or even the next day, your plans kind of fall apart. It's very hard to like plan things even when you think you're gonna be off. So that's definitely a headache at times, and it is frustrating at times. But again, it's things that comes with the job, and you just gotta roll with the punches and try to rearrange things at a later date, or just try to be flexible. But it is challenging trying to be flexible with a job that requires you to be flexible, but not everyone has the ability to be flexible that you're trying to make plans with. Like, for example, my friends have jobs that require them to have pretty consistent schedules. So a lot of times I won't really know when I'm free until the week of or the day before, and they can't just drop everything to make plans with me. So it's definitely challenging, but if you have people that are understanding and supportive of what you're doing, things will work out. Trust me, they always do, for the most part. Another common challenge with this job, especially starting out, is living arrangements. Now, everyone knows that once you apply to be a flight attendant, the company has the ability to place you anywhere, and you have to be willing and able to move to wherever they send you. And if you don't want to move, you have the ability to commute. We know that that's an option, but we all know also that it's something that a lot of people do not recommend. However, I want to say as a disclaimer, even though people don't recommend it, people do it all the time. Like, I meet so many flight attendants that commute and they make it work, even though it can be challenging. But a lot of people are not in a position to move to a whole nother state, especially if they don't have the financial ability to do so, if they have a family or a house, or maybe they just really love where they live. There's either not a base there, or that base may not be open and available at that moment when you're starting to be based in that city. And piggybacking off of that, you may be sent to a base where there's not an abundance of crash pads. Like that was my situation when I started. They sent me to Cleveland, Ohio, and there was no crash pads there, and I was super stressed out on trying to figure out where to live. But I was able to find somewhere, thank God. So if you're thinking about being a flight attendant and living arrangements kind of are freaking you out and maybe having you hesitant about going forward with the job, I would strongly encourage you to utilize resources that are out there, especially on Facebook, like different groups that are posting resources about crash pads or rooms to rent, or just asking people questions about how they commute. That can really give you a great insight and some tools, tricks, and tips to help you navigate that process. Now, take everything that you see on there with a grain of salt, because some people do not know what they're talking about, and some people can be wrong or misleading depending upon their personal situation. But I can say that there is some valuable information out there that you can utilize at your own disposal to kind of help you navigate the moving process, or just how to go about commuting, because people do it and it can be done. Another thing is delays and flight cancellations. Those definitely do suck, especially if you already have like an early check-in time and you have a long day of flying, and then one of your flights gets delayed and it just prolongs your day. And now when you look up, even though you're on assignment for 13 hours, but that doesn't include the hours that you got up really early to prepare to work and get to the airport. So those moments are definitely challenging. I'm not gonna lie to you. No one really enjoys being delayed, unless, you know, sometimes you'll meet some flight attendants who don't really want to go to their layover or their connecting flight, and they're hoping to get stuck somewhere so they can stay in that city that they are currently delayed at because they want to like hang out with friends or whatever the case may be. That does happen on some occasions, but for the most part, nobody enjoys being delayed, especially customers. You know, they don't want to be delayed, but it does happen. And with delays comes sometimes rude passengers and them exuding their negative energy into your atmosphere, and you have to learn how to navigate that. And that is a challenge sometimes. I have an extensive amount of experience dealing with those type of situations where people are projecting negative things on me, but there's times where I'm just like not in the mood to deal with it, and there's moments where I catch myself getting a little upset. And it's okay to take a moment to yourself. Like, we're human, we're not punching bags, but people will really try you sometimes at work. And I cannot tell you how many times I will literally walk into the lavatory for a couple of minutes and take a deep breath and just relax. I'm not gonna allow someone to get under my skin to where they get me acting out of character. I don't care. It's not worth it. And so I will go in the lavatory, take a break, or talk to my coworkers about it. Of course, where no other customers can hear, but it's good sometimes to just, you know, decompress and let your frustrations out in a healthy way. I think that it's just my kind of philosophy is to kill people with kindness, because a lot of times people will realize how much of they've been acting towards you, and they will come back and maybe apologize, or they may not even directly apologize to you, but a lot of times they'll think about it later and be like, dang, I was really out of pocket. And hopefully they won't do that again in the future to people. And then, of course, you know, there's instances where people are definitely directly disrespectful, and I've learned to address it in a professional and kind way, to let people know that if they can't talk to me in a kind of way and just how they want to be respected, I expect to be respected as well. So if something is escalating and you're not able to kind of address it on your own, definitely feel free to rely on your crewmates, get someone else involved, get a neutral party, ask the captain for assistance. And if someone is being blatantly disrespectful, out of pocket, they can't control themselves, there are measures that can be taken and escalated for that person to be removed off the aircraft. So don't ever feel like you're in a situation where you're alone or your back is up against the wall, because there are resources and things that you can utilize around you to help mitigate those situations. So don't let anybody treat you less than how you should be treated, because even though we are in a service industry, we are not servants and we are not slaves, okay? We're there, number one, for their safety. And a lot of times people forget that, and they don't really know what all goes into being a flight attendant. And yes, we are, one of our values is to provide great customer service, but our number one priority is safety first. And people have to know that you're there for that reason, and you deserve to be respected and treated in a way where you deserve. So I just want to let y'all know that, okay? Because these people sometimes will try to forget, but we can kindly remind them who we are. Another challenge will definitely be jet lag and fatigue, you guys. There will be times where you are so exhausted, you are feeling sluggish. It's super important to take care of yourself, eat good, get your rest, drink water, exercise, stay active, even if you don't want to go to the gym every day, but if you just want to take 10-15 minutes to walk outside or just do something to get your body moving, it really goes a long way. And I'm a huge advocate for wellness and implementing different things on a day-to-day to cater to your self-care regimens is super important. You have to take care of yourself first, because if not, you're not able to show up as your best self at work, and you don't want to jeopardize your safety and the safety of others. And while we are on this topic of wellness and self-care, I'm super excited to introduce you guys to an amazing wellness brand called Kroma Wellness. They sent me some amazing products to showcase to you guys in this video today, and I'm so excited about it because they are an amazing company. When I tell you, from the packaging to the goodies that they sent me and the quality of it is just giving very much so luxury wellness vibes. Okay, so let's get into these amazing products right now. Like right now, you won't be disappointed. Kroma Wellness is a company who believes that food is our medicine and that we can naturally fuel our mind, body, and soul. I love their products because they are great quality, they taste good, the ingredients are simple and easy to use and understand, and you can incorporate their products into your daily life, especially if you're someone who is busy and constantly on the go like myself. Here are their on the go everything but dinner packets. There's 6 different packets. Each targets a different purpose, but they're all so yummy, convenient, and compact. I also got some yummy almond cookie butter and some matcha. Y'all know I love my matcha. I also have this really sturdy and awesome cup to hold my beverages, as well as a frother and a bag to put some of my items in. And this bag is perfect for the sachets because they're easy to take with me on the go. Now y'all know I had to come on camera and make some of these items for you guys. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the process. Okay, y'all, weren't those products amazing? I literally love their products so much. The quality of the things that I tried were top tier, and I'm not capping. They were really, really good. So if you would like more information on any of the products that I showcased in this video today, feel free to click the description box on more information on how you can get your hands on some of Kroma Wellness's products for yourselves. Let me know what product you tried. I would love to hear your feedback on the company because I personally think they're dope, and I think that you will think they're dope too. So definitely let me know your thoughts if you do try them out for yourself. All right, y'all, so the last challenge that I'm gonna discuss on this topic is the starting pay. So I know that this is a topic that is widely discussed, and probably one of the main things that makes people apprehensive of getting into this career is the pay and how challenging it is starting out. So with the company that I'm employed with, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. There's no cap in my rap. I have no problem letting you guys know what the pay is and how much I'm bringing in right now. So I believe the starting pay is $28.88 an hour, and on paper that may seem really good, and it is on paper, but when you are considering all the factors that go into that, it does not seem as much as you would think, because you only get paid once the aircraft door closes and once the door opens. So when we are boarding or waiting to do our pre-boarding and doing all of our briefings and all that time that we are at airport, which is a lot of times an hour before the flight departs is when we're required to check in, we're not getting paid during that time frame. And we're also not getting paid during the time frame that passengers are deplaning and getting ready to get off the aircraft, and we're assisting with that process. Now, earlier last year, one company did award their flight attendants with boarding pay, so they do get paid for that time frame, but that's not across the board for all airlines. So it's hopefully something that we will see more airlines implement in the future. There's a lot of time at the airport that we are spending that we're not getting paid. And of course, there's other like incentive pays that we have as far as our per diem, but those amounts we are not seeing until we get our check. So it's not like we get assigned a trip and it's a layover and they give us cash in an envelope for our per diem to utilize on that trip. That's not how it works. We don't see that until we get paid in our next check. The pay starting out is challenging, especially if you're not living in base and you have to get a crash pad and you're paying for all these additional expenses, and it costs to eat on these trips. Of course, on some trips the company does provide food for you, but some of that food, like, you don't want to eat all the time, so you have to pay to bring food on your trips, or you're paying to feed yourself while you are on these trips. So those things do add up, and we all know that airport food is not cheap. It's not. So it's definitely hard starting out as a new flight attendant, but I hear this all the time, and I'm starting to believe it now that I've been in the profession for a little bit of time, that it does get better over time. The great thing about this job is that there's yearly raises, and you have the ability to pick up trips and make extra money, but you won't really see a significant like change financially until you're with the company for a few years. And the way that time flies within this career is crazy. Like, I can't even believe that in April I'll be with the company for a year now. So being more consciously aware of where to spend my money and paying attention to where my money is going. So once I start bringing in more money, I feel like I'll manage it much better, because I would be lying if I was saying that I was the most financially sound person. Like, I've made some bad decisions with money, y'all. I really have. So I'm doing better now, because I ain't got a lot of money to really be effing up. So yeah, it's a blessing in disguise in a way. Of course, you know, I'll be like, dang, I wish I had more money to do X, Y, and Z, but I know more money is coming. I'm speaking that into existence. I'm speaking abundance in my life, and I know that I'm gonna have money coming in from other streams where I don't have to just depend on my job. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, wink wink, this YouTube is gonna help out too. I'm claiming it. Now we can go into some of the positive things that I've learned about this job and things that I am grateful to have and experience. And piggybacking off of the last challenge that I said about the financial component of it, is that once you start building up your seniority in this field, you'll have the ability to maybe work less and still make a decent amount of money, to where you have the time and availability to tap into other things that you want to do, whether it's have another job or entrepreneurship opportunities, or do other things for yourself that you may have not had the time to do in the past. This job definitely allows flexibility and autonomy for you to live your life on more of your terms, at least in my personal experience, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm able to tap into some of my creative interest and just do things that I didn't really have the opportunity to do when I had more of a jam-packed schedule with my previous job. So that is such a huge plus. I love just exploring new places, and the fact that this job has allowed me the opportunity to see places that I probably would have never had the opportunity to do before is just mind-blowing to me. And I know I'm just at the tip of the iceberg of it, really, because I know this summer, y'all, this summer is going to be on and popping with the places that I know they're going to probably end up sending me, and just seeing just other parts of the world, and even within the United States too, places I've never even thought about going, that I wouldn't have chosen to go on my own. But now that I've had that experience, it's just amazing to see so many beautiful things around the world, so many beautiful people, and I really have been enjoying going to other countries. And although a lot of countries are different than the United States, it's crazy to see the similarities that you'll find and the different nuances that you'll find as you explore more about the world. And through those experiences, you learn more about yourself. And I feel like within the last 8.5 months, I've discovered so many things about myself, and I'm super excited to continue learning and getting more knowledge about the world and the person that I am supposed to be through those experiences. So it's amazing. I think one of the greatest benefits of this job is the ability to travel, and probably one of the main reasons why a lot of people do pursue this career is just the opportunities that is presented to you through the world of traveling. So it's super dope, and I just love it so much. Like, even with the challenges that I've talked about, nothing at this point in time would make me want to give this up or quit. So I'm just excited of what's going to continue to develop through this journey. So of course, you have the ability to utilize your flight benefits when you're not working, but you also get paid to travel to some really dope places when you are working. And I mean, that's amazing, right? Like, who wouldn't want to get paid to travel the world? Like, it's great. Like, oh, I still get chills. Like, I just can't believe sometimes that it's my life. When I'm going somewhere, I'm just like, dang, it just doesn't hit me until I'm actually there. I really enjoy the opportunity to meet people from all over the world and learning. I think this job provides so much learning experiences. It teaches you how to deal with conflict resolutions. It teaches you different ways of different customs and traditions about other cultures when you're working with people from different countries on certain flights. It teaches you patience. It teaches you so many things that I think kind of really go unnoticed on the day-to-day, but as I sit and reflect on all the things that I encounter or have to like learn to navigate, it's really mind-blowing. So I'm really grateful for that. As I mentioned before, is a challenge is that there are moments where you do have a little bit of stress, but it's nowhere near the amount of stress I had in my previous job. Like, y'all, I literally don't take work home with me. Yes, I may have some frustrating moments, but it's not impacting me to where I'm like thinking about something for an extended amount of time. Like, it's like, I have my moment, wash my hands with it, and next thing you know, I'm relaxing by the beach, sipping a pina colada, watching a sunset. Like, I have no worries. That's really how it is. Like, I just love the fact that I'm not feeling emotionally drained by the work that I'm doing, and that's something that I had an issue with before in my previous job. So that is just beautiful. I love that so much. I also love the flexibility of this job. Like, yes, being on reserve is challenging, but our schedules a lot of times are blessings, because this month, like next week, I have 8 days off in a row. Like, what? 8 days off to do whatever it is I want to do. So I might, you know, pick up a trip in another country, and then I'll still have some time to myself to take a trip somewhere else and visit my family and friends. And I think that's an amazing luxury that I just sometimes don't even really notice how cool it is to have that as an option. But the fact that I can just do whatever I want during that 8-day span is just like, whoa, I love it. Nice aspect to the job too. Our schedules are, you know, sometimes not in our favor, but then when they are in our favor, it's in our favor. Opportunities are not limited, I would say, with this job. Starting out, it may be a little rough, getting used to all the different changes and different things that you have to deal with being new, but you won't be new forever. So that's what's keeping me optimistic and keeping me just trying to stay the course and enjoy what I can and control the things that I can't control, and not get completely worked up about the things that I can't control. And at the end of the day, this job is allowing me to live a life that brings me so much enjoyment, and for that, that's the biggest takeaway for me. I'm still very much so loving this job. I can't wait to continue to share more aspects of this lifestyle with you guys here on my channel. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That way you can get more of an insight on what it's like to being a flight attendant, and just join the community here that we have growing, because it's lit and I want you to be a part of the family. So subscribe if you're not already, okay? You won't be disappointed. All right, y'all, so that pretty much sums up this video. I hope you guys found some insightful information on what you can kind of expect going into the flight attendant lifestyle, what I would deem are some highlights and some challenges and things to keep in the back of your mind as you're going through the application or interview process. And I'm wishing you all the very best of luck if you are gonna just move forward with joining the life in the skies. I would highly recommend. I love it so much, and I'm hoping you will too. Thank you so very much for watching this video. Feel free to leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on my next upload. I hope you enjoyed this video just as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. Sending you lots of love and light. See you in my next upload. Peace and blessings.